You don't need a lot of stuff in order to be successful as a reseller. But if you're at the point where you're thinking to yourself,
I really think I want to take this seriously, I want to stay committed to reselling for the long haul,
then I do think that there are a few things that you can invest in that will make running your reselling business a lot smoother. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to actually look at reselling from beginning to end, from the time that you source an item to the time that you finally ship that item and get it out of your house. We're going to talk about the tools and resources that I actually use, and everything that has a link will be linked down in the description below. If you just want to kind of make things easier, you can look at my Amazon storefront where I have a curated list of everything that I use that is actually sold on Amazon, but I will also have individual links for everything else as well. Some things will also show up as pop-ups on the screen as you are watching. Anything that is part of the YouTube affiliate program, I will link that way, and it'll also be linked in the description. There are a few things that are, available at Target or at Home Depot. And just as a heads up, I do receive a kickback if you purchase anything from my Amazon links or from the YouTube affiliate links. But if you're like, I don't want to give Becky a kickback, you don't have to click on those links. You can just go to Amazon all by yourself and type in the product that way. But I just thought I'd make it a little bit easier for you by having those links available. So we're going to start off by talking about all of the products I use when I first get it in my house. Let's go. So once I purchase everything, for example, this is a bunch of stuff that I just got at Plato's not too long ago. I like to hang everything up on a garment rack. That way it doesn't get super wrinkly as it's just hanging out in the bag. That's literally what's happening to all the clothes in these bags. These bags have been sitting here for like a solid week. So everything is a wrinkly mess. But if I am on top of my game, I like to actually go ahead and hang everything on a garment rack. I've tried a bunch. I've broken quite a few, and these are the most durable. So this is by, I want to say like Simple something. I will have it linked down below. But the thing I like about these garment racks is, one, they just look really nice. They're kind of industrial looking. They are very easy to assemble, and they have these extendable arms on either side. They also have wheels on the bottom, which makes it really easy for me to just move this around my reselling space however I need to. And I like them so much, I actually have two of them. You can see my other one here right next to my photo box. And these are the items that I have ready to go. They are ready to be photographed. So I go from here to my photo box. Now, before I can give you a quick walkthrough of my photo box, which I love, but we'll get there, there are a few products that I use to get my clothes in the best shape possible. So I'll get everything hung up, and the truth is sometimes as I'm doing that, I'll notice some stains or just some flaws, and I'm going to show you the things that I use to kind of take care of those things. So first of all, this is a really random product when it comes to getting stains out, because this is actually for dishes. This is dish spray. It's literally Dawn Power Wash, but we actually use this on items that have grease stains. And I'm just going to tell you right now, like, I actually don't do the laundry in my house. My husband does. Every time we have stains on anything, my husband takes care of everything. So he just kind of told me his secrets as to what he uses. So this is actually a dish spray. You use it, if you're going to like soak something that has like stuff that's caked on or whatever. But my husband uses this on grease spots, and it gets the grease spots out really well. I actually had like a huge grease spot on some white on clouds that I wear, and my kids are trying to start like a sneaker cleaning business, and so I told them that they could spray this on the grease spot, and these on clouds look brand new. They looked crazy. Like the grease spot was like this big on the top above the toes, and they sprayed this on it, used a old toothbrush to just kind of like get it in there and work it into the grease. It came out like a champ. So this is what I recommend if you've got anything with grease stains on it. And then just to kind of stay on the topic of stain treatment, my husband likes this Shout Triple Acting Spray. It's very inexpensive. You literally just spray it on whatever stain you have. And if it is like a deeper stain, he'll leave it on there for longer, sometimes even overnight. And then he'll go back in and try to wash the clothing. And then his favorite detergent to use, again, it's a pretty affordable option. We get this, either at Costco or on Amazon, and that's why it's such a big boy. But it is just a laundry detergent, but it's meant to remove stains. So that's kind of the main things that he uses. I also use the Tide stain removal pens. I usually have a bunch on me. I can't find any right now. I usually keep them right next to my photo box. But those are a really great option if you're in a pinch. You just have like a stain stain right in front of you, you can just kind of dab that on the stain and see what happens. I also have some products that I use for when I'm dealing with more like leather type products, whether it's shoes or purses or things like that. I do have just like a Doc Martens shoe polish in black. This is really great for if you've got some shoes with like some scuffs or even some leather that's kind of scuffed off a little bit. A little goes a long way. I literally just take like a little washcloth or even sometimes a Q-tip or something, and I'll just take some of this and basically like paint it on to the spots that need a little love. And then this is the Doc Marten Wonder Balsam. This is if you've got leather shoes, and they don't have to be black, but just leather shoes that are in kind of rough condition. Again, maybe they just need a little bit of leather conditioning. Maybe there's a lot of cracking in the leather. It comes with like this little sponge, and you just use it to dip it into the balsam itself. It's basically like I don't know how to describe the product. It almost looks like Vaseline, you know what I mean? So it's like you dip it into the Vaseline type of jelly almost, although it's a little bit denser and thicker than that, I would say. And you just apply it very gently using the sponge to whatever product needs a little bit of love. So again, I have used this on leather bags. I've used it on a ton of leather shoes. I've used it on actual Doc Martens. And these are two products that work really great for me. And then also when I am going to photograph items, sometimes I'll notice that there's a lot of dust or lint or even animal hair or fur on the item. I'll just take a lint roller. I'm not even going to suggest one because you can literally get these at the Dollar Tree. But I think it's really nice to have it handy next to your clothes as you're getting ready to photograph them, because there's nothing worse than, needing to photograph something and you're turning your house upside down looking for your lint roller. So definitely keep these near where you take photographs. And then finally, the last thing I have near me when I am photographing clothes is a sweater shaver. This is by the brand Evercare. A friend of mine gave this to me because she didn't really use it anymore. I believe it's super cheap on Amazon and it gets the job done. It takes a couple batteries and you literally just turn it on. You can hear it going and you just kind of press it lightly against whatever it is that you need to do a little shaving of. You don't want to, be too excessive. Although with this one, I think it's a little hard to do it too much and like put holes in clothing. And then every once in a while, you just want to open up the bottom here. This is where all of the stuff that you shaved off is going to collect. You can see I've got a good amount in here, and you just throw that out when it gets full. This is fine, but it's going to take a lot longer to do jobs that need some heavy shaving. Something I do with a lot of my clothes that I get at like the bins or even Goodwill is I will steam them. So I'll steam for two reasons. One reason I'll steam clothes is because they're just really wrinkled and I don't want to, put them in the wash, just because our washing machine is always occupied with our own clothing as a family, but also because steaming clothes just helps sanitize clothing. And so the steamer that I have is by the brand Salav, and it is, as you can see, like a beast of a steamer. It's nice and big. I like it for a lot of reasons. One, I like that it's got all these little like places where I can hang clothing. I'll kind of show you like how nicely and quickly it works. I am using my left hand right now to do this as I am holding my camera with my right hand, but you can see some of those wrinkles that were at the top there already going away. Here's some more along the bottom, and this is much easier with two hands, but you can see just how nicely the steam is helping the wrinkles go away. This is pretty easy to use. Even my daughter will help me steam clothing sometimes, and she actually enjoys it. She says it's really satisfying to see clothes just look a lot nicer. And this tank takes up about, I would say, a half gallon of water. We do use distilled water for our steamer, but it's just a nice way to get the clothes as fresh and as nice looking as possible for before I take pictures. So now we're going to talk about my photo box. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I do everything reselling related in my basement now. I'm just in this unfinished space in my basement. It's a little bit of a hot mess right now, but I have no windows. I have no natural light. I don't have anything like that. And so I needed to come up with a solution when it came to taking pictures of all of my clothes and shoes and accessories for my reselling business. And so I came across this item right here. This is by the brand Consigne. There are a bunch of different brands that make these kinds of like huge photo boxes. Like I can comfortably fit in here. I'll take a picture and show you how small I am inside of this thing. But what I like about it is that it is extremely bright inside. I can actually just place things on the floor here if I want to take pictures of like shoes or shorts or accessories. And then you can see like the frame of this is all this kind of like black piping, and there is a black pipe that runs along the back right there, and that's actually what I use to hang my hangers from. So right now I have a pant hanger here, but I can also put like a top hanger there, and that's how I hang my clothes to take pictures of items. There's a bunch of LED lights, so many in fact that I don't even actually use them all. Like I don't have that one turned on. I've got these ones on the side. There are these little things that came with it to kind of like soften the light a little bit. But it's just a great way to take some pictures. I do still have to edit my pictures. Like I don't feel like any light like this is necessarily bright enough. I just kind of increase the exposure on my phone to make my photos appear brighter. I do use some different apps, or List Perfectly has the ability to remove backgrounds now, but I do like to remove the background so you don't get any of the piping or anything like that, and you have just like a nice clean white background. But otherwise this does a really nice job of just helping me take really high quality pictures. The one thing I will say is it was pretty difficult to set up. You want to make sure that you have someone helping you, because it is definitely at least a two-man job. But this is what I use now to take pictures, and I will have it linked down below as it is something that I got on Amazon. I just photographed that pair of frame jeans. They're right here. I got these at the bins in LA, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start my listing in List Perfectly. List Perfectly is what I use for a lot of things, but it starts as my inventory management, which means this is where I keep track of where I purchased items, how much I paid for them, all that good stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the jeans that I took a photograph of. I'm going to use like a reusable Ziploc bag, and on the bag itself I literally just write a SKU number. So this is SKU number 609. I have another scale that I keep on my shipping table, but this is the scale that I keep on my processing table. So after I have photographed an item, I will actually weigh it with this Offnova digital postal scale. There's a couple things I like about it. First of all, the surface area is quite larger than the Accutech one that I have on my shipping table. I also like that there's like a built-in ruler right here. So if you are somebody that deals with more hard goods, as you're weighing it, you can even like take your item. If you were, doing this Aquaphor lotion, you could see how big it is and what size box you would need. Like if you like to put all that information in as you're processing an item, this built-in ruler is a really nice touch, I think. So I'm going to get to that scale in a second, but what I do is I go into List Perfectly and I go to my listings. So what I will actually do is I'm going to use Express Lister, which is kind of a new tool that they have. Oh, they're telling me some okay, I'm not going to watch this video right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my raw pictures that I just took of the item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the 9 pictures that I took of these jeans, and I'm going to go ahead and airdrop them to my laptop. Here they are. So these are all of my pictures, and I'm going to go ahead and just plunk them into this listing. So now that my pictures are in, I'm actually going to use this thing called Listing Assistant. And what that does is it creates a listing for me using AI based on the pictures that I took. So it's not perfect. I always have to make some adjustments, but it does get a lot of information in there for me that I, didn't have to take the time to do, which is great. So I want to just show you what that looks like. So all I do is click on Listing Assistant. You have the choice of choosing how you want the listing to sound. So it can be funny, it can be storyteller, verbose. I just go with professional because I just want it to come across as professional as possible. And so we're going to go ahead and try that. So it uses the first 6 or 7 pictures that you put in the picture area to generate the information that they're going to put in the listing. So right away, you can see that for the listing title, they called it Frame Women's Distressed Skinny Jeans. It's a size 25, blue denim. all great. I'm going to add in there just because I have some more information. Like right here, it says that they are the Lehigh Skinny. So I do want to have the style name. And then I'm going to get rid of the word skinny here since I used it in the style name. So these are the skinny distressed jeans, size 25, blue denim. I'm also going to write high rise because I guess they're kind of more of a mid rise. I don't know. But I can use like... is it a raw hem? Yeah, I'm going to use raw hem as well. And I can also put, let's see, they already used distressed. I think I'll use the word stretch because, oh, actually maybe I'll use the word Enford. I think that is the color name. So we'll put Enford, blue, Enford, denim, sure. Or maybe we'll put Enford over here next to the style name. SKU is bag number 609. That's information that, you know, I only have. So they already put that it's blue for the color. For material, they put denim and cotton. There are more materials, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put that in. There's cotton, modal, and spandex. So we're going to go ahead and redo that cotton, modal, spandex. It's in a size 25. They don't know how I want to price them. I'm going to go ahead and price them at $35. These are frame. They have created a description. So they wrote, elevate your casual wardrobe with these frame distressed skinny jeans crafted from high quality denim. They offer stylish and comfortable fit. I can put more information. Well, and then they also have like distressed detailing, skinny fit, zip and button closure, 5-pocket style, frayed hem. They have inseam and waist measurements because I showed that here. So you can see these are 28-inch inseam and the waist, it says 14. So I don't know how they got 13. I have that it's showing 14. I don't know how they got 13. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. So I do always go through and like check this kind of stuff. They put a lot of keywords. I don't really like the way that they utilize keywords. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these and put my own in. So, you know, it's not like perfect as far as literally just lists everything for me the way that I want, but it does a lot of really great things. So for the keywords, I'm going to put distressed, I'm going to put skinny, I'm going to put raw hem, I'll put pockets, and I'll put casual. I think that's fine. These are pre-owned. I am now going to use my scale. That's why I have this Off Nova scale on my processing table right after I take pictures. 1 pound and 0.5 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and say 1 pound, 1 ounce, and that's with it being inside of the bag. Style, I'm going to leave blank. This is for women. This is made in the USA. This cost me, I'm going to say $2. I got this at the bins in LA. I didn't really like do my cost per item analysis, but I'm just going to estimate $2. I think that's probably pretty right. This in the seller notes is where I put where I got it. So I'm going to put Los Angeles Goodwill Outlet, and I got that in June of 2024. I don't really fill out this information, although I guess I should because this does carry over into eBay. So I'm going to put, let's see, the bag is like 12 by 8 by 1. So now that that's done, it actually just auto saves. So I'm going to go into view listings. I'm going to show you a couple other cool things that List Perfectly can do. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this a little bit more. And one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use the background eraser, which is an amazing tool. So as you can see, I've got these pictures. You can still see like parts of my light box. You can see like the clips and stuff. So I'm going to go to bulk actions. I'm going to remove backgrounds, and you get 3,000 background removals when you use List Perfectly's Pro plan. I don't need it for all of these items though. I just need it for these 3. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove the background on those 3, press confirm, and you'll see what it does is it gets rid of like all of those clips and little piping details that we saw from the photo box. So now they just look super clean and great. I can see all of this information that carried over from the Express Lister. I just have to add a couple things like, yes, it's in good condition. I'm going to put solid for my pattern. I'm going to put machine wash here. and I already had my keywords, I had my cost of goods, the price, the SKU, I already have my shipping weight and all that good stuff. So we're good to go. Now I'm going to save this, and then I also use List Perfectly, now that the listing has been created, to cross list this listing to the different places that I want to list it to. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh so that I can see it in its newest form. There's the picture with the quality that I want. I'm going to go ahead and cross-list this to Depop, eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark.
A few moments later.
And these are listed. Look how fast that was. So that's how I use List Perfectly. It is a must for me. I use it every single day for a variety of reasons, whether it is, what I'm using to manage my inventory and keep track of where I purchase items, how much I paid for them, that sort of thing. Also, that's what I use to cross list everywhere. So now that I have my frame jeans in my Ziploc bag, I'm going to go ahead and put them in my inventory bins. You may have seen these in the background of this video already. To be honest, when you're first starting out, you don't need a bunch of bins. Like, you can use whatever system you want, but once you get to more than honestly 100 items, you need a way to organize your inventory. I did just make a quick video outlining how my inventory system works, and I will link that video here. But these bins are all from Target. They are, I always forget what the size is. Let's see. They are the Sterilite 56 quart bins, and they're clear, which I really like because then I can see what is inside of the bins pretty easily and find the item that I have to ship out fairly quickly. This is going in bin 609. There is 601 through 625, so this is just going to go in here. And now, if and when that sells, I will see in my listing that the item is SKU number 609. I just pop over here, pull out 609, and then I can ship, which takes us to my shipping area, which is a little bit of a mess. The first thing I will note about my shipping area is that it is on a flexi spot standing desk. So basically what that means is I can use these buttons to have the desk come up higher or get down lower. So it's really nice because I just stand at the desk to do my shipping because it's at the height that I need it to be at for me to stand and work. And then I have all of my shipping supplies on these kinds of racks. So as you can see, I've got padded poly mailers, I've got USPS supplies, lots of USPS supplies, which are free, and all of these things live on this shelf. I will have this shelf linked for you. But now let's do some actual shipping and you can see what kind of products I use while I ship. We are now at the shipping part of this video. Once you photograph your item, you list it, you cross-list it wherever, the goal is, that it will sell and you get to ship it out. And I actually did have some packages that I needed to ship out for this day. And so what I do is kind of take you through that journey of what I do when I ship out an item. So for me, when I go to do my shipping, I like to write down everything that I have to ship out that day in a journal. I use the Hobonichi Techo. It is a really great journal because it has a yearly view, a monthly view, a weekly view, and a daily view. And the daily view is where I write down what sold, the SKU of that item, who it sold to, and that's just kind of how I keep track of, everything that is getting shipped out that day. I also use the weekly part of the planner to plan out maybe just some goals that I have for the week when it comes to reselling, maybe a goal for how many listings I want to get done that day, or if there's anything special I want to do, like run a sale or, anything like that. It's a good place to jot down to-dos as well. And then in the monthly part is where if I want to quickly jot down just ideas for YouTube videos and when I want them to go live and that sort of thing. So it's a really great journal and something that you can purchase either at the Hobonichi website or even on Amazon. But now that I have all of the items written down that I need to ship out for the day, it's time to ship. And one of the things that I need in order to ship is a trusty, reliable thermal label printer. Although obviously you can just print using a regular printer if you want as well. And as you can see, I already already have 2 on my desk, and here is a third. This video is actually sponsored by Jaden's. They gifted me with this thermal label printer so that I can do an unboxing for you, show you how it works, and I thought it would be fun to kind of compare it to the DYMO LabelWriter 4XL, which is on the left, and the Munbin printer that I was gifted a little bit ago on the right. And so we'll start by doing an unboxing and trying to put it together. So at the top of the box was a set of little plastic pieces and an instructional card that gave you instructions on how to put together basically like where the labels themselves would go. So it kind of sits behind the printer itself, and you can either use it to hold a roll of labels that will get pulled through the label printer, or you can have labels just kind of sitting on top of each other and you would rest it on this stand. It was really easy to put together. The instructions were really clear, and I learned that it just kind of sits, like I said, behind the printer. It is not actually a stand for the printer to sit on top of, which is what I initially thought. The next step was to put the actual printer together itself, and this was actually much easier because there were not as many pieces. It was basically just taking the printer out of its packaging and putting together the 2 parts of the power source, plugging it in, and just kind of looking at the manual to see what all of the different functions were, like how to turn it on, what the different blinking lights meant, that sort of thing. It's a very easy to use printer. There's not a lot to it. There's just like a little clasp type thing that you pull in, like a little lever, and that helps the printer open up so that you can feed the paper through. Other than that, it's super simple. So the last step was actually getting the printer connected to my laptop. And again, there are instructions inside the manual. They have instructions for both people with Windows and with Mac. I was using a MacBook, so I looked at those instructions. They were extremely clear. I did have to download like a printer package from the website, the Jaden's website. The instructions were very clear on how to do all of that, and the driver was super fast to install. My computer was able to find the Jaden's printer extremely easily, and when I tested what it was like to print out a label, it printed out basically immediately. So setup was a piece of cake. Even actually building the thing or like putting it together, super easy, and I have no complaints about what it took to get this thing running. So like I explained earlier, there's like a little almost lever on the side of the printer that you squeeze in, and that's what allows you to open up the top of the printer, and then you can put in your first label. This is where I was a little unsure of what I was doing, but it was really easy to figure out. There are like little white tabs on the inside that help you figure out where to place the paper so that it will come out nice and smoothly and with the correct size that you want. And then the last thing I had to do was actually try printing a label. So I had a label that I needed to print from Poshmark. I had a Poshmark shipment. When I went to try it, it printed extremely quickly on the first try. Now, I'll be super honest with you. I did not read the manual of this label printer from Jaden from beginning to end. So there were a few pieces, like little flash drive type looking things that I didn't really know what I was supposed to do with. I feel like maybe they are for those who want to use the printer wirelessly and, with like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I know just because I have a shipping area with a shipping table, I'm always going to bring my laptop up there. I have no problems always kind of plugging my printer into my computer. But now that I've cleaned up my shipping area a bit, I am pulling an eBay sale. It was this pair of Art Class, which is a Target brand denim shorts of my daughter's, and I am going to actually try testing out printing in bulk on the Jaden thermal label printer. So right now what I'm showing is a bag. It's like a clear plastic bag from J Beauty. I have them in 2 different sizes, and this is what I've been using for many, many years now when I do my shipping. I put each article of clothing in one of these bags. I rip off the little like liner, and underneath is an adhesive sticky part that will help the bag self-seal. So this is just a really nice way to kind of classy up the presentation of your shipments, and it also serves a functional purpose too, like if anything were to happen to the poly mailer or whatever the outside packaging is, then it will protect the garment at least so that it gets there safe and sound and, not wet or anything like that. So I do get a lot of compliments on the fact that I put, all of my items inside of a little plastic bag in that way. And then actually, I apologize. This is a Poshmark package, not an eBay package, but I put it inside of a USPS box. It's a flat rate box, and that's because USPS has a lot of shipping materials that they will send to you for free. I'm also showing a little thank you sticker that you can purchase on Amazon. I will have that linked below. And earlier I showed my card because I get my cards printed at Vistaprint. I just save the project in my account on Vistaprint, so every time I run out, I don't really have to submit anything new. I just use, my old project. I just pull that up and get like 1,000 more printed or something like that. So between my thank you cards and these cute little thank you stickers that you can get on Amazon, I think there are lots of ways to add personal touches and just let the buyer know that you're thankful for their business. So I used a nice free USPS flat rate box. I am peeling off the label that I printed from the Jaden thermal label printer, and that package is ready to go. And I am going to put it inside of a big reusable bag. I have many of them. I have some from IKEA. I have some just from different conferences I've gone to. This one is from List Perfectly when they sent me some swag not too long ago, and that's what I use to put my packages out for porch pickup or when I go to the post office. So the next item that I have to ship out is a necklace from J. Crew. I'm just looking for a smaller plastic bag to put it in, for the same reason as I did the bigger ones, just to kind of keep it safe. And I find an old Ziploc bag that had been used when someone sent me something. I do like to reuse stuff as much as possible, but right now I'm showing a padded poly mailer from a company called JaroPak. I am an affiliate with them, and I have a lot of really nice poly mailers and padded mailers from them. Most of them are kind of more solid colors, like this really pretty lavender color. They do have some printed poly mailers, but I have poly mailers from all over the place. This is an example of a JaroPak poly mailer, but I also have really cute poly mailers from Amazon. There are a ton of different sellers that sell them. I usually get ones that are kind of specific to the season, so those are some fall ones, and I will have those linked down below. They're very durable. They're really high quality as well, just like the JaroPak ones. And here are just, like I said, the ones that I get from Amazon. When I buy items from Amazon, I save all of the packaging so that I can reuse them for many of my shipments as well. So there are so many places and vendors and ways that you can get shipping materials. The best ones, I think, obviously are free ones, but because that's a necklace, I decided to put it in a padded bubble mailer from JaroPak. I'm not using one of the Amazon ones just because they're a little bit bigger, but a complete package for me is the item inside of the bag. You put a thank you card in there, and then I like to use the label to kind of hold down that flap to the package itself, so it's just extra reinforcement. Even though with these JaroPak ones and all of the poly mailers that I've gotten on Amazon, I've never felt the need for extra reinforcement, but it's there just in case you need it. And then I believe the last thing that I'm shipping out this day is a rash guard. It's from the brand Paragon, and it's sold on eBay, and so I'm using that same J Beauty plastic bag to put this inside of. I'm also going to have a different plastic bag linked below, and it's by the brand Spartan. And the reason I'm linking it is because I think I'm going to switch to that particular brand because it does have the suffocation label printed on the outside of the bag, which I believe you're supposed to have when you're shipping things out. But because this is an eBay package, I'm just putting it inside of an eBay poly mailer. If I didn't have an eBay coupon sent to me every quarter, I probably would not ever purchase eBay poly mailers and eBay shipping supplies because they are pretty expensive, but I basically get them for free because of that quarterly coupon. I also get things like eBay tape and stuff like that. And here I'm just showing where I plan on putting the label once I print it, once again on the flap to reinforce it to the bag itself. So the next step to shipping out an eBay package is to weigh the item once you have the package all put together, inside of the poly mailer or a box, whatever it is that you're using, as well as your card. And so I am turning my camera now so that you can see my AccuTech shipping scale. This is the scale that I leave on my shipping table because this is what I will put my items on once they are ready to go. And you can see here my shipping scale is saying that it weighs 6.2 ounces. So inside of my laptop for eBay, I'm going to go ahead and record it as 7 ounces. But that's why I like to have 2 shipping scales. I have one that just lives on the shipping table, and I have one that lives on my processing table because I have to know the weight of things at different times. And so now that I have the weight, I'm going to go ahead and enter that into eBay, and then we're going to go ahead and print that label on the Jade Thermal label printer. And I'm actually going to ask it to print 2 different labels at once because I want to see how this does when I ask it to do printing in bulk. And the reason I wanted to do this test is because if you see the Munbin printer, which is on the right of the screen, it would not print in bulk for me. It would print 1 label, even if I asked it to print like 2 or 3, and then it would stop. But as you can see, this printer not only prints 4 labels extremely well, but extremely fast. It had no issues trying to print that many labels at once. So for sure, this is a superior label printer compared to the Munbin one. I do think that the Munbin printer can print in bulk, but I think I would have had to reach out to like tech support, which is fine. I just didn't want to take the time to do that. So now I wanted to compare it to the DYMO label printer, and you can see that the DYMO label printer is printing. It's just printing a lot slower, which again is fine. I've had that DYMO label printer for years. Like I think I've had it for 5 years at this point, and it does a really nice job. The weird thing though is I was asking the DYMO label printer to also print 4 copies of that same label, and it only kept printing 1. Now part of me wonders if that's because I literally was asking for a quantity of 4, and I don't normally do that, and maybe the DYMO was like, listen, you only need 1 of these. When I do print many labels at once and they're all different labels, like when I print in bulk from Whatnot, or when I have like 6 or 7 packages on eBay that I need to ship out to 6 different people, it does print in bulk really nicely, but it does not print as fast as the Jade Thermal printer did just now. So now that I've tested quite a few label printers, I will say that this product from Jade is very good. I like the design of it. It's a lot smaller than the Munbin printer. I like the speed of it. It was really easy to put together. I think it's a really great option if you are in the market for a thermal label printer, but I will have it and the other 2 label printers that I mentioned linked down below. And while there are probably a lot of other products that I use when shipping, the final one that I'll show you is just some packing tape. This is from Amazon Basics. I've tried a lot of tapes from, Amazon Basics, Scotch, just any brand that makes tape. They're all honestly kind of the same. I'm comparing the Amazon Basics to the eBay tape right now. The eBay tape is not the same. It's very thin. It's pretty flimsy. You need a lot of it to make a package feel secure. But the Amazon Basics tape is really thick. It feels really durable. It really holds things together in place very well. I feel very confident when using it that packages or boxes that I am keeping together with tape are not going to fall apart. You know how there's some tape that you can just like use your nail to open it? That is not the case with Amazon Basics tape. I feel like you need at least scissors or a box cutter to get through it. And so I'm showing how I use a small portion of the tape to close up this box just to kind of like keep the flap down, and it's just super tough and durable. You're not going to be able to just cut through it with just any old thing. So that is the tape that I like to purchase. I get it in packs of, I think it's like 6 or 8 or something like that on Amazon, and when I'm on my last roll, I always make sure to order another package of many rolls of tape from Amazon Basics. The last 2 resources that I will mention in today's video are not physical products, but actually things that you use online. The first is, I do believe that as your reselling business grows, you need to have good bookkeeping practices just so that you are aware of your numbers and so that when tax time comes, you are prepared and not stressed out. For my bookkeeping purposes, I use two things. List Perfectly, which I already talked about, actually has a pretty decent sales analytics page, and there are people who input all of their sales information into List Perfectly and use that to provide the information that they need come tax time. I also use my Reseller Genie. This is a bookkeeping software that will do lots of different things. Depending on the tier that you have, depending on which plan you have with them, it'll even pull all of your eBay and Poshmark sales and just track that information for you, including returns, so that you don't have to sit there and type in any information about the sales that you had. You can also put any inventory information that you have in there, so it'll keep track of how much you've spent on inventory. It can even pull information from your credit card so that you can keep track of, gas and mileage. You can keep track of things like items that you purchase for your reselling business. It's a really great tool that has helped me streamline the bookkeeping side of my reselling business. The final resource that I'll talk about in today's video is called Reseller's Edge. Reseller's Edge University is a course. They have all of these different modules on introduction to reselling, as well as the foundations of a successful reselling business. I mean, there's so many. They teach you even how to scale. They teach you about wholesale. But even more than that, it's a community. They do a lot of these live calls, and on the calls, they'll do deep dives on things like different trends, how to list, how to utilize keywords. There's been so many great live calls. There's a ton of other resources like timing spreadsheets, profit breakdown spreadsheets, just step-by-step tutorials on how to do certain things. These are all the live calls that I was telling you about. There's also a live BOLO list that only a handful of people, it's like Kaylee and again like Sean and Bethany, they are allowed to update this live BOLO list. It's not like anyone can go in there and be like, well, I think that Walmart is a live BOLO. It doesn't work like that. But there are so many resources when it comes to this community of resellers, and there's everyone from beginning resellers to people who have been doing this for half their lives. But this is a great resource if you just want to be surrounded by like-minded people who are going to push you to do your absolute best when it comes to reselling. And so I definitely recommend checking it out. And I do have a coupon code that you can use to save 50% off of your first month, but you do pay a monthly payment to continue to be a part of it. It's only for those who want to level up. It's only for those who want to take their reselling business seriously. And this is another resource that I highly recommend for your reselling business. I mean, I don't think that's everything that I use for my reselling business, but we're scratching the surface. Those are a few of the things that I use. And like I said, every single thing that I showed you, there is a different version of that or a different brand that makes something very similar. These are just the actual objects that I use on a daily basis. And like I said, I do have everything that I could find linked down in the description below. And if you found this video useful in any way, the best way that you can thank me is to use those Amazon links or those YouTube affiliate links, because like I said earlier in the video, I do get a little bit of a kickback. But I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you learned about a few products or resources that you feel like will help you with your reselling journey. And if that's the case, let me know by hitting that like button on your way out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!